I think back to the first time I realized the impact of physical touch. I was in a really bad car accident in high school with my friend Molly. The steering column just stopped.
Oh my gosh.
And we were going like 75 or 80 mile an hour into a turning overpass. So we hit it dead on, and when we hit it, it kind of thrust us right back into traffic. You know, we were sitting horizontally and all the traffic's coming at us vertically. And the car was crushed in so bad that we had to literally like get together and kick the door open so that we could get out. And meanwhile, these cars are just like whizzing past us, and we're like, that's the first time I was like, we're probably gonna die, Molly, you know.
Oh my gosh.
But it was so surreal, because all I remember is finally we got ourselves out of the car and we ran to this to the side of the road, the embankment, and we kind of ran down into the ditch. And we were just standing there like kind of in this disbelief, and we couldn't really snap out of it. And we were literally playing Frogger to get out of this freeway. And all I remember, and I don't know where she came from or even if she was real, that's how surreal this was this big lady, man. She just came trucking down that ditch, and all I remember is she didn't even say anything to me. She just grabbed me, and she gave me the nicest hug I've ever had in my whole life, and kind of brought me back to like consciousness, because I wasn't for a minute. And then I don't remember anything else. It was that weird. I think the ambulance came and whatever else to check us out, and I don't know. I mean, I remember she was in a blue dress like yours, and she was African American, and she was just this big lady. She came trucking down this ditch, and she just grabbed me, and she didn't even say anything. And then I don't remember if I felt like she did it until the ambulance came, and then she was just gone. It was so weird. I don't remember what transpired after that, but I just remember how safe I felt in that. And this was a lady I've never seen before in my life, and I just went through the scariest thing I've ever gone through in my life. But that hug, I just remember being there in that hug, like even forgetting all the melee around. Like, wow, this is so surreal. Like, this is the nicest, most calming, you could feel it hug ever. So that really resonated with me. The importance of like, not only how much a stranger can impact your life and how you can stop your day and change somebody's life, but just that touch really is surreal sometimes, and it definitely brings you to a whole nother different place. I mean, that's touches everything to us. It's what pushes our species on, you know. So it really is so crucial.
And so here in Utopia, how can someone make you feel more supported?
I feel very supported here. I couldn't ask for a better group. Every time I failed or every time I felt bad, I've never hesitated to go to anybody here. And I've never been like, oh, that was unfulfilling. That was like a not so great conversation. I've never ever experienced that here. So I find myself very, very fortunate.
And so what about in terms of when you're not looking for it though? Like little things, is it just going up to you and just touching you in some way to make you feel more supported?
I think, and I said this, I think, to Dedeker a long time ago, like second or third day. I was like, I love when people wake up and they're just like, good morning, Hex. Like, Dedeker gives me a hug every morning. Dedeker gives me a hug every morning. Brie will come up to me and she'll be like, hey, babe. Just like if I'm just off in the corner, like someone will still come acknowledge me, and that makes me feel so present here, which I like. Just a little, hey.
These are the little things that we're talking
Nobody
about.
ever passes me by and just doesn't see me. I always get like a bump or like even a rock to the face. I appreciate it. Like some people throw a rock at my head.
You've been seen, right?
Right. Like Chris will do that. He'll walk by and he won't always be like, hi, how you doing? He'll like throw a pencil in my face. I'm like, oh, I love that. It's the weirdest thing ever, but it's like you said, it's like feeling present. Like you're in the group. So I really I value that very much.
That's
I appreciate
awesome.
that.
I appreciate that. And knowing that too. It's something I am going to take with me leaving God a Circle. And maybe even the note thing too.
Oh, the notes
I
are
love
excellent.
those.
I
Yeah.
always write little notes. Like
Yeah.
I write, Kristen was having a bad day. I've written Kristen one. Bree was nice. Bree wrote her one. Rob T.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
notes are
Then
guys.
you can. That's because that's the thing is then you hang on to it and then you can
Yeah.
revisit
The other
it,
day,
you
I was
know?
even mad at T. I wanted to, like last night, I wanted to strangle the little shit. But then I read his note, and I'm like, oh.
That's great. I love all those things.
So notes are great because you get to it's like when that person.
It takes time to think about what you're gonna write and take the time to write.
Oh, my notes are eloquent. And then I try and say them out loud, and I'm like,
I love that.
but notes are awesome.
Do you want to do an essential oil?
Yeah, I can.
And then
I have a little reading.
Oh, okay.
Also.
I love. Actually, we could probably. Should we open up the snacks or?
Snacks. Definitely snacks.
Snacks and reading!
Snacks and reading.
So we don't really have enough plates, but
That's okay, I eat with my face.
Yeah.
Please not in plates.
Let's all give it thanks. So we have lots and lots of food. Okay.
Can I have this ugly one?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm gonna
So-
take the sister.
It's so funny. So I read this. I've had this book for a while, and I read this verse before coming here, and it never even made me bat an eye until I read it like a couple weeks ago, and it was just like so spot on. So the more one denies oneself, the more one gains. Unencumbered, I seek out the camps of those who desire nothing. A deserter, I hasten away from the side of wealthy men, whose comparison makes me poor. For I am wealthy myself, in the absence of my wants, rich in already being satisfied. I have a stream of clear water, a wood of a few acres, my harvest and milk cows, and my bleeding sheep, not yet. Each morning I find eggs in the straw. I expand my revenues by shrinking my desires, and live the emperor of my domain.
That is
So perfect for the way it was
Perfect.
I know.
opened.
And it makes me think, obviously, like it hits on so many like literal things that we have here, but also before coming here, I read this awesome book called The Art of Nonconformity by this great author, Chris Gilbo, and he talks about either he or like a close friend of his was really into playing the lottery, you know, like very regularly, and like they would love talking about it and kind of dreaming about, you know, what they would do with all that money. And he has this great line where he says, like, but then I wrote my own winning lottery ticket by changing what was necessary for me to be happy. And I really like that. Like, I mean, specifically about that, I wrote my own winning lottery ticket, you know, just like you give yourself so much. And it's not necessarily about like lowering your standards or anything like that, but just changing what's necessary. You know, I increase my revenues by decreasing my desires. You know, it's amazing how much you have. We have so much here.
We do.
We have so much, not only like physical material things, but just with each other. We have so much, you know. Like, it's so funny because in group this morning, I was talking about, a lot of people talk about feeling lonely and isolated and stuff like that. But then here I realized, like, oh my gosh, like I'm in a community where I can touch everybody. You know, I didn't have that out there. You know, I'm in a community where I really feel like I can go to anybody almost and have a good conversation or get good advice, you know, and I don't have that. Like, we have so much here, including these gluten-free children.